Hi, Kieran here. This is a reply to Pyrrho and his video Life and Happiness. Hi Pyrrho, hope you're good. I really enjoy your videos, and particularly in recent years, you've I think made them a bit more accessible for people like me. So yeah, keep up the good work. Your video, the kind of main point you make, I generally sort of agree with, that antinatalism has something in common with utilitarianism. It does seem to be similar to particularly negative utilitarianism, and maybe if utilitarianism is making a mistake, maybe antinatalism is making a similar mistake. Now I'm a utilitarian, so I don't think utilitarianism is making a mistake, but I've explained some of my ethical stuff, I hope quite succinctly, in my last video, if you want to have a look at that. I've also done a video previously about antinatalism, which I don't agree with. But anyway, the main thing I want to say is unfortunately, I think you're kind of lumping together things in your video which may lead to confusion. Maybe giving utilitarianism a bad name. You seem to be saying something like having a happy attitude, which may be real or fake. You seem to be lumping that together with utilitarianism, and they're very different things, as you probably know. Utilitarianism is something like trying to maximize welfare for all conscious life throughout the future. It doesn't necessarily even mean in terms of happiness. I would put it in terms of pleasure and pain, but not all utilitarians would. Anyway, even the sort of hedonistic form of utilitarianism that I follow is nothing like the same thing as this individual choice of trying to have a happy attitude or having a happy attitude. It's also different to, it's important not to confuse utilitarianism with the idea of being happy yourself or maximizing your own happiness. That's only a small part of the utilitarian goal. And as I say, having a happy attitude is different again consciously trying to have a happy attitude may be a very bad way to go about being happy yourself and creating happiness for others. Utilitarian or an individual hedonist may acknowledge that there's no point in going around with a sort of fake smile on your face. That if that just doesn't work, then they and I would just accept what you're saying and not take that approach. Having said that, your idea about people with a happy attitude, I'm not necessarily sure I agree with that anyway, though it isn't to do with utilitarianism, as I say. I think that trying to have a happier attitude than you kind of naturally feel you want to have may work. I've tried it a bit in life, and I think it worked. I think it probably works to a degree. I think you can't just do it all the time, or you can't overdo it. Otherwise, it just doesn't work. But and also the people you're talking about, they may not be fake. Some of the people you're talking about may be genuinely happy. I would have thought that if there are, as far as anyone knows, I think some people are happier than others, and why wouldn't those people be expressing it by being upbeat about things? But yeah, I think that even if you're not that upbeat about things, I think you might make others happy or make yourself happier by being slightly more upbeat than you feel like being. Anyway, I'll just pick out a quote from your video just to show maybe your sort of mixing things up a little bit. Try and clarify this. Okay, so you say at one point in your video, maximizing happiness won't work, so you should find what's interesting in your life and you'll be relatively more happy. Okay, so the first part of that, maximizing happiness won't work. I really don't understand that. I mean, unless you're going for some hard determinist kind of approach, I mean, if we have any control over the amount of happiness in the world, then maximizing happiness will work. Even if there's two different levels we can choose from, one slightly higher than the other, we can pick the higher one. So I don't see how maximizing happiness can fail, really. And then you say you should find what's interesting in your life and you'll be relatively more happy. But that, yeah, that might be true. I mean, I don't think, I mean, as I say, a utilitarian or a hedonist doesn't have to deny that. I mean, maybe all happiness needs to be found via looking for interesting things. I mean, I certainly accept that most finding happiness isn't this direct, like just putting a smile on your own face sort of thing. It's doing other things, but also doing interesting things, having a hobby that gives you pleasure, but not a kind of big smile on your face every 5 seconds pleasure. Yeah, I'd agree with that. But as I said earlier, I think that consciously trying to be happy may be a good strategy for coping with life and being a little bit happier than you would otherwise be. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed that video, and I look forward to feedback from you, Pyrrho, and from others. Okay, thanks very much.